Hi, everybody. Oops, let me get my computer settled here. It's moving around. Hi, everybody. It's time for another Verbling class. Some of you might be finishing up with, I think Audrey was just giving a class. It's 9 a.m. Pacific time, and the class is open now, so you should be able to see the Join Class button. It's a green button above the Verbling chat box, and if you click on that, you will come in here to the Google Hangouts and you will be able to participate in our class. Today I wanted to do a class on writing, and so this will give you a chance to, we'll do some reading and some writing, and you'll also be doing some speaking. So we'll try to do all three of those things. I'm going to specifically be helping you with your writing skills, so I'll be correcting words or punctuation and also phrasing, how you say things. So I'm going to just talk a little bit here while we wait for people to join. It looks like we have a few people viewing, and so you just need to decide if you're going to join the class. It's usually best to try to get in the beginning because they often fill up. So if you have a join class button at the top, you can click on that. Once the class is full, you can still participate in the class. You will be able to write something, and I can also read it out loud even if you're not in the Google Hangout, and I will help correct it if I can, depending on how many people show up. I'm going to give everybody the link now in the chat box here, the Verbling chat box, and that goes to a Google Doc. This is going to be a document that you can write in, that you can edit. I set the settings so that people can view it and edit this because I want you to be able to write. But we have one rule, and that is do not erase anybody else's writing. Sometimes I don't know if people are doing it on purpose to be funny, or I think it's more an accident, a mistake. But if you highlight something and then you click your return button or delete button, it deletes it. So let's not do that. Everybody will have their own space in the document where you can write. Okay? All right, so I'm going to start by introductions. First, I'll introduce myself, excuse me, and then I will ask you to tell us your name and where you are. We have many returning students, so everybody's getting to know each other a little bit here on Verbling, which is nice, a nice community of people who are learning English from all around the world. So I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Lisa, and I live in Washington State. That's in the Pacific Northwest. Washington is a state that is not very populated, but the main population center is around Seattle, and so you may be familiar with Seattle. The capital of Washington is actually Olympia, which is south of Seattle. And I am about 2 hours away from Seattle and also 2 hours away from Olympia. I live in a small, kind of a touristy town in the summer called Port Townsend. It only has about 9,000 people, and it's on the Puget Sound. So that's a little bit about me. Now, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? I'm going to start over here on the right with Joseph. Joseph, are you there? Joseph?
Yes,
Hey.
hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, great. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Yusuf. My name is Yusuf, and I'm from Yemen. And I guess that's all.
Okay. Short and sweet. Rodrigo, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm from Peru. I live in Lima. My name is Rodrigo, so I hope to learn today some words.
Okay, wonderful. And Renata, hi there.
Hi Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Thanks. Oh, my name is Renata, how you said. I'm living in São Paulo City. São Paulo City from Brazil. And this is my first time in here, so I am a little bit confused.
Okay, well, it's pretty easy. So you're in the Google Hangout. So that means that I'm going to call on you, or you can speak when you have a question. And also, I put a link up here. You should have a VerbLink chat box on your right-hand side of your screen. And if you click on that link, it'll open a new window for you probably. And then that document is what we're going to use to practice our writing today. So
Okay,
it goes pretty quickly. We have only 1 hour, and so if you have any questions, just ask. Okay?
it's okay. Thank you.
And you might want to turn up your volume just a little bit on your speaker or your microphone. Sorry, just because it's a little bit low for me to hear you.
Low? Is it low?
Yeah, a little bit. You can turn it up a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I will be checking.
Okay, great. Hi, Johnson. Johnson, is that how you say your name? Johnson? Hi there. I don't hear anything. Here, sometimes when I mute you, then you unmute yourself and then talk. Do you see it? Okay, he dropped out. Maybe he was having a bad connection. Diego, how are you doing?
Hi, teacher.
Hi.
Hi. Well, let me introduce. I'm Diego Rafael. I'm from São Paulo, Brazil, and I'm 20 years old.
Okay.
Okay.
2 people from Sao Paulo, huh? That's great. Yeah. Brazil. All right. Mariano, how are you doing?
Hi everyone. Hi Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Me too. Well, I'm from Argentina. I'm from Buenos Aires, and I'm studying here in Berlin. So.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome.
Thank you.
Carl, are you there? Your black screen.
Yeah, hi Lisa. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, everybody. My name is Carl, and I'm from China, but now I'm living in the United States. And I think I should get a webcam, right?
Yeah, so we can see you.
Yeah, all right.
What part of the United States are you in?
Well, I'm living in Brooklyn, which, yeah, you know that, a borough in New York City.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and New York is a nice city. You guys should come and visit it.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun city. Lots to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there a couple of years ago. It's fun.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay. Aslan, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Hassan. I'm from Azerbaijan. Yeah, I'm 23 years old and I'm a lawyer.
Okay. It's a little bit hard to hear you. I don't know if maybe you can turn up your microphone a little bit. It sounds kind of far away. Whoops, and then we get a lot of noise. Okay, good. That's much better.
My name is Aslan. I'm from Azerbaijan. I'm 23 years old and I'm a lawyer.
Okay, wonderful. Wow, you're pretty young to be a lawyer. You must have studied very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Cole.
Yeah. Asir, are you there?
Yes.
Hi there.
Hello everybody.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. What about you?
I'm doing okay.
Great.
Tell us where you live.
My name is this Asir is nickname. My name is Asad.
Assad, okay.
Yes, I'm from Syria, but now I live in Saudi Arabia.
Okay. Are you working there or studying?
Yes, I am an electronic engineer.
Okay. Great. Ahmed, are you there?
Yeah, I am there. My name is Ahmed. I am from Bab. I am a pharmacist. Yeah, just that.
You're a pharmacist?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, let's see. I see that some people have already begun writing, which is okay. But first, before we get into the writing exercise, I had a link up there at the top. So I'm going to put it here in the chat
Google
box.
Chat.
Yeah. I'm going to put it there. I can also put it in the Google chat, but I'm using the Verbling one. So if I use the Verbling chat box, then other people who watch this video later can also follow along. So I just wanted to start off here by, we'll quickly do a little reading of this particular article, because this is the article that got me thinking about this topic that we could discuss and would give you a chance to have a little background on it. So if you want to open that up in a browser, you can do that. It's a Canadian article. It's actually a couple of years old. Let me see if I can put it up here in the screen share. Let's see here. So then you'll be able to see it, and you can read along here. We're not going to read the whole thing, but I wanted to just give you a little bit of a synopsis or a summary of what this is about. Apparently, there was a teacher in a school in Quebec a few years ago, and he had some students who, one of the girls got him to kind of get mad or get upset or frustrated, and so he started yelling. And then another friend of hers started videotaping that, or him yelling, while he was yelling at her with her cell phone. And then they put it up on YouTube, and they thought it was just going to be like a joke and funny, but the teacher, he was very disturbed by this, and he was very frustrated, and so he didn't come back to school to teach. And so then there became a debate about whether or not students should be allowed to have cell phones in the classroom. And some people think that the teacher should be able to do whatever the teacher needs, including disciplining his students, however, in his own classroom. And other people believe that it's okay to bring cell phones and other technologies into the classroom. So I thought we would just think about that a little bit. And I don't think I'm going to read it because I think we are not going to have time, but I wanted you just to have it. You could read it later if you want to, but this is the article where, so these are the things that happened. The girls recorded him using a cell phone of him yelling. They put it up on YouTube, and then he got very upset, and he was, I don't know, embarrassed. It says here, oops, I'll read here. After the video was posted on the popular internet video site, the teacher was so embarrassed that he stayed home from work, where he remains. And then it says, colleagues say teacher has 32 years of experience and has spent many of those years instructing special classes for students with discipline problems. Okay? So that's kind of what happened. And then so the school actually made a rule that kids could no longer have cell phones in the classroom. So that's kind of the background information. And so before we start writing, we can talk a little bit about it. Does anybody have an opinion right now you want to just tell us a little bit about? Diego?
Just I want to say that
okay,
I can't see Verbling chat. Could you paste the link of the Google document in the Google chat?
Sure thing. No problem. I'll do that right now for you. There you go. And I will paste it another time in the Verbling chat. You're welcome. Okay, so cell phones in the classroom. I don't really know, actually. In America here, there's probably every school or maybe even every classroom has their own rules about that. Perhaps there are some classes or some schools that have a rule that says nothing can be brought, no phones, no smartphones, no iPads, things like that, no video cameras can be brought into the classroom. And maybe there's other schools that don't care because they haven't had any problems with that yet. So I want to hear from you. So in this class, the way we've done these writing classes before is you're looking at your Google Doc, and I've written up here, this is called Expressing Your Opinions. So you have an opinion about this. Maybe you are for it or against it. And so the topic is right here. Cell phones should be used in school. So do you agree with that statement, or do you disagree with that statement? And this is really just for practice. Practice your writing, practice expressing yourself in English. And so it doesn't matter which one you pick. You can be for or against. It's just for you to practice. So it might be a good idea just to pick one and figure out how you would express yourself either for or against this idea of having cell phones in the classroom. If you have a strong opinion, you can give us some examples of why you think it's a good thing or not. And I see that people are already getting started, so I just want to make sure that you know how we do this. You just put your name, write your name, and you can underline it or make it a color, however you like to do it, and then right under your name, that's where you're going to write. So if somebody is already there, just go down with your cursor and you can just find a place that's empty and start writing there. Okay? So while you guys are writing a little bit, I'm going to keep talking so it's not so quiet on the video. So yes, if you continue to write, just write right there, yeah. And when you're done, what we're going to do is I will ask each student to read what they wrote, and as you're reading it, I will be looking for any mistakes or any problems with wording or grammar or anything that might make it more easy to understand. So go ahead and do your writing. Also, if you are watching right now, you can write on the Google Doc if you want also, or you can write in the Verbling chat. It does look like we have about 15 people watching the video, which is great. You can have a chance to also write on the Google Doc if you want to participate. Looks like we have about 19 people that are looking at the Google Doc. So this is a time for you to just think about how to say things and do your best. I want to make sure that you all feel comfortable expressing yourself in English, because the reality of Verbling is that anybody can join the classes, and some people have more experience with English and some people have less experience with English. But whatever your level of English is, feel free to just write a little bit, or if you feel pretty comfortable, you can write a little bit more. Everybody is here just to improve, so wherever you're starting, that's fine. Does anybody have any questions? I have a frog in my throat this morning. Okay, looks like everybody's busy here. Good. If you have any questions about how to use the Google Docs, you can ask me too. It's pretty simple. It's just like a regular Word type program. You can change the fonts, you can change the sizes, you can use colors if you want to highlight something. But make sure that you put your name next to what you're writing, because otherwise I won't know who to call on. Cell phones should be used. Hi, Lawrence. How are you? Oh, man. Yes. As we're continuing, I'm going to let you guys write for another minute or two to give you a chance. And in the meantime, I'm going to talk to the people who are watching, because we have a lot of people watching the Verbling class. Some people, it is true, sometimes when you come to a Verbling class, depending on what time of day it is, sometimes they can fill up very quickly, usually in the first minute or two. So if you want to try to get into the Google Hangout, it's best to get here even a little bit earlier, because sometimes I start the classes just like 1 minute before the class should start. I get ready and I'm starting it, and then I usually start it right on time. So people who are ready are there to click the button. We can only have 9 people in the Google chat, so of course there's lots and lots of people using Verbling these days, so that's not actually very many for each class. So you have to get here sooner. But the good thing is that all the classes are recorded, and if you would like to listen to the class or watch the class later, you can do that any time. So Albina, I see that you're asking how can you join the class in the chat, and the only way to join the class is to click on the Join Class button when it is available, and right now the class is full and there are many people watching the class. Sometimes it does happen that a student has to leave earlier than the class ends, before the class ends, so they have to leave early and they drop out of the Google Hangout, and sometimes that opens up a space and you will see the Join Class button appear, and if you click on that you'll be able to get in. And sometimes people have a slow internet connection perhaps, and that also sometimes makes it so that they drop out because of their internet connection. So that's about the only thing I can tell you, is if anybody has to leave or if anybody has a bad internet connection, it might open up a space. But otherwise, the class is full right now, and I'm just waiting while the students are writing and correcting their writing, and then we're going to start reading and talking about this topic of whether or not cell phones should be allowed to be used in classrooms. Okay, and yes, I see Lawrence, 10 minutes before. Oh, just 1 minute before would be good. So if you want, you can, I see people are having a discussion in the Verbling chat. That's fine. Sometimes it's a good way to connect with other people, and of course you can practice writing in the Verbling chat. So there's your English practice. Okay, students who are in the class, are you guys pretty much done with your writing?
I have just finished.
Okay. All right. Looks like you guys are doing a good job. All right. If you didn't write anything, now's the time to start doing it, because I'm going to call on people from the top. So that's usually how I do it. So Mariano, you're going to be first. So what? Okay. So what I would like you to do is just read what you wrote, and then I will give you any feedback on it once you finish.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I believe that the electronic devices should be used in classroom for learning matters only. Teachers should check that these devices are used in a proper way by the students. The internet connection should be limited. The internet connection should be limited to learning content only. Furthermore, or in addition, I'm not sure how to say it, privacy issues should be taken in account about how kids use their cell phones and video cameras in the school. From my point of view, cell phones should be allowed in free times only.
Okay, great. All right, so just a few little corrections, and I will make them right here on the Google Doc. I believe that electronic devices should be used in classrooms. So you could say in the classroom or in classrooms, either one.
Okay.
For learning matters only, teachers should check that these devices are used in a proper way by the students. That's good. The internet connection should be limited to learning content only. Contents, we don't really ever put that into plural. It already is plural. It's just talking about one thing. Except for if you're saying the contents of a bag, like what if something is in a bag, for example. But if you're speaking about content as like the different topics that one could be learning about, then it's only in the singular form there. Okay? And either one is fine. Furthermore or in addition is fine. You can start a sentence with either one of those. That's perfectly okay. Privacy issues should be taken into, we would write, into account And I would say instead of about, I would actually say regarding how kids use their cell phones and video cameras in the school. From my point of view, and I would just put a comma there, cell phones should be allowed during, I would put during free time only. Okay? That's great. Diego.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, do you have any questions, Mariano, or you feel good with that?
Thank you. Thank you very
Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, good. Diego, how are you doing? You want to read? What happened? Uh-oh, I think Diego dropped out somehow.
Diego's gone.
Yeah, Diego's gone. Well, if you want to join the class, now's the time. Click the join class button. Okay, Diego, I'm going to read his. I think cell phones can't be used in school because it can distract the students during the class, and it would be less the information who the students would be learning as long as they are in the class. All right, I'm going to correct that. I think cell phones shouldn't be used in school because it will distract the students during class. And it would be, okay, let's see, and it, did Diego get back in? Okay, yeah. Oops. Okay. All right. I'm not sure what you wanted to say here, Diego, so I'm going to, and it would be less than learning as long as they're in class. I think it would be just, I think you can make your point by just saying that you'll be distracted and they will be paying attention. They won't pay attention to what they're learning. I think that's what you meant. To me, cell phones must not be used while people are having free time. Okay? Nowadays, here in Brazil, it is absolutely forbidden. In my university, the cell phone is just a taboo in exams because we can't search online to get answers about the questions during the test. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Let's say in college, I think it must be prohibited because the guys apparently haven't a lot of things to do out of school because they're just students. It's my opinion about it. In college, I think. Okay. All right, good. Ahmad.
Yeah, I am here.
Okay, good. All right, Zezo. Why don't you read what you wrote, please?
Yeah. Just one. Yeah. As technology became popular and more spread all over the world, so the problem associated with it rising. Today I will give my opinion about using the cell phone in schools. Everyone knows that schools is the place where pupils learn new aspects about life and how they deal with life situations. So from this point, I don't agree to use the cell phone because it disturbs the students from giving their attention to the class. So they can't achieve their goals, that is gaining the knowledge. Using cell phone isn't right and should be forbidden, Pilo.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go reread it and do a few corrections here. As technology, I'm going to say has become, because we're talking about it right now, it's still going on, kind of. As technology has become popular and more widespread all over the world, so have the problems associated. Let's see. The problems associated with it have also risen. Okay. Today, I will give my opinion about using the let's just put cell phones. Usually when we're talking about something like that, we put it in plural. That's just the way it flows better. Instead of one particular cell phone, we're talking about cell phones in general. Okay. Today I will give my opinion about using cell phones in schools, period. Everyone knows that school is the place where pupils learn new aspects about life and how they will will deal with life situations. Period. So then you can say, so from this point of view, I don't agree to using cell phones because it disturbs the students from giving their attention to the class. So let's see. So they can't achieve their goals. Their goal, I would say, of gaining and I would put, if you want to put, you could just put knowledge, of gaining knowledge, or you could put the necessary knowledge. Using cell phones is not right and should be forbidden by law. And the period just goes right after the last letter, the last word. Okay? Do you have any questions?
No, thanks you.
Okay, great. That was good. All right, Carl.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Well, I should have make it longer.
Oh, where? Down there somewhere?
Yeah, you see what I write here?
Yeah, yeah.
It's too short. Well, before I started reading what I write, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Yeah, let's look at what Diego wrote. Here.
Diego, okay,
Here, must not to be used. I think we should say must
not be. Yeah, right.
And here, why don't we use when?
Let me see. To me, cell phones must not be used while people are having. You can use either one.
Oh, okay.
When or while. It's describing the time during which something is happening. Yeah. Diego, did you get back? You made it back in? Diego.
He's not here. He's not here.
Maybe he is having trouble with his connection. We'll wait. He'll probably fix it. There you go.
Yeah.
Hi there. Hi. You made it back in. That's good. Okay. Did you see that I made some corrections?
Yeah, I was following it.
Oh, okay, good. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Good.
Thanks, teacher.
Yeah, sure. All right. So, Carl, do you want to read what you wrote there then?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So my response to this question is it depends. For students in elementary school and middle high schools, no. But for students in high school and college, yes.
Okay. So you're saying that for elementary school and middle high school, they should not use them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're too young. They don't know what they should do and what they should not do. And nowadays, cell phones are not just cell phones anymore. It's beyond cell phones.
Yeah.
Basically, cell phones are like a computer, and you can do whatever you can think of. Basically, whatever you can think of on it. So it should not allowed to be used in elementary and middle high school. They're too young. But for high school and college students, I think it's okay because they are older and they should know what they should do. Better than those students in elementary schools and middle high.
Yeah. What do you think about the idea of I forgot who mentioned it up here, but the idea that cell phones can be used like for tests, and people might be looking up the answers because, like you say, it's not just a phone anymore, it's really a computer, and they could look up things.
Yeah, this is a tough question because, even though we have laws everywhere telling students, like in my high school, we are not allowed to use cell phones, but people carry it in anyway.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's something. Even
though
there's a law there, but somebody will still violate it.
Especially in the United States.
No. Well, I went to high school. I went to schools in China also, and people and cell phones and those electronic devices are absolutely forbidden in China. But people carry it in anyway, and teacher won't do a thing about it. Yeah.
Do they use them though, or do they just carry them around but don't take them out?
Well, they they use them when the teachers are not around.
I see. Yeah.
But even though the teachers see them using them, they act like nothing because they know everybody carried it in school.
So it would be too hard to enforce because everybody's just doing it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Carl, are you in high school in Brooklyn or what are you?
No, I'm a freshman in college.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you sounded a little bit older than high school.
Yeah. I have a mature voice.
Yeah. So in the college that you're going to in Brooklyn, everybody brings their cell phones?
Yeah, of course. I go to college in Manhattan, Baruch College.
Okay.
Everybody do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks. Aslan, how about you? You want to read?
Okay. I think it's disadvantage to use in the class because when you use cell phone, you can't understand what teacher said about lesson. But then after school, you won't prepare your new lesson, and you couldn't learn new things, and also ray of cell phone harmful for our human bodies. At the same time, if you don't use in the cell phone, class cell phone, it's advantage for you because you get out lesson, you can call your relatives and can give them information where are you.
Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to make some corrections here. So it's always capitalized. I think it is a disadvantage to use in the class. I'm just going to put the cell phone or cell phones in the class because when you use a cell phone, you can't understand what the teacher says about the lesson. Okay, then after school, you won't I think it's you want to say be prepared for your new lesson. Got a lot of background noise there. I'm just going to mute you there so there's no noise. Then after school, you won't be prepared for your new lesson and you won't learn new things, period. And then you can start the sentence with also, comma, and then we put the ray after. Cell phone rays are harmful for human bodies. But at the same time, comma, if you don't use them in class, then the cell phone is advantageous, we could say, for you because when let's say the lesson is over, comma, you can call your relatives and give them information about where you are. Okay? Any questions? I think Okay, good. I just had to mute you because the microphone was away. Did you have any questions, Aslan?
Hello, teacher.
You're good. Okay. Hi, Jonas. Are you there?
I'm fine, thank you. Do you?
Good. So we're just practicing our writing here. Did you see the Google Doc?
It's my first time.
Okay, good.
I don't know English very well. I know to speak English, but a little.
Okay, well then you can listen. And
yes.
then we'll call on you in a minute. Okay? Because we're reviewing the students' work.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, great. Okay, Rodrigo, you want to read?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. I don't think cell phones should be okay. I don't think cell phones should be able to be used in the classroom because they would be a distraction because children should be learning in the classroom, not talking or playing on their phones, distracting each other, but more importantly, distract from learning.
Okay, good. I'm going to make a few corrections. I don't think cell phones should be, I'm going to put allowed to be used in the classroom because they, I'm going to put they are a distraction here. You could say they could be, but this makes your argument a little bit stronger because they are a distraction and children should be learning in the classroom, not talking or playing on their phones, comma, distracting each other, period. But more importantly, okay, I wouldn't put a period there. But more importantly, distracted from learning. Okay, that's good. I think that's short and sweet and to the point is what we say. That's good. Okay, Renata, you ready to read yours? I'm going to make it a little bigger there. Okay, go for it.
In my opinion, using cell phones, iPads, and other technology stuff can be good. It depends on how these objects are being used. In that specific situation, the use was inappropriate because a secret problem was exposed. On the other hand, technology can be a really good and useful tool to help in learning.
Okay, great. So you chose the pro or the for argument. In my opinion, using cell phones, iPads, and we don't need an apostrophe there, just the S is fine. iPads and other technology, you don't have to say stuff, you can just put other technology, can be good. It depends on how these objects are being used. In that specific situation, the use was inappropriate because a secret problem was exposed. On the other hand, and I would just put a comma there, technology can be a really good and useful tool to help in learning. Okay, really good. Perfect. Okay, does anybody have any other questions about this particular part here? Let's see. We had a few people drop out here. I think we're having some people having a few technological problems. Rays. Okay, Mariano, good. What is a ray? A cell phone ray. Aslan, you want to explain what the cell phone rays are?
Rays is harmful for human bodies because it's how can I say radiology ray, and it's very harmful for human human bodies.
Mm-hmm. So that a ray is actually like a form of energy, right? A certain wavelength, maybe, or something like that, of energy. And some people believe that the rays that the cell phone emits, that they can be harmful for the human body. So a lot of people believe that, and a lot of people don't believe it. So that's another topic for a debate, probably. But I don't know what the science says. I think some people believe that there's enough science there that proves that, and some don't. So Aslan, you're of the opinion that the rays are harmful. We can say the rays are harmful. Yeah, the radiation. Yeah. Okay, Carl, all of the electronics have radiation? Carl? What happened to Carl? I just hear a dog. Okay, Mariano, did that answer your question? About the rays?
Yeah, yes, it did. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, Iris, are you there? Iris? Iris? Your mom just called. Your mom called you from China. Nice.
No.
Oh.
She was just talking to me, so I dropped the headphone. What's the question?
Okay. Oh, no, you mentioned in the chat, you said that all electronics have radiation.
Or, I mean, every electronic device has radiation. Mm-hmm. I believe that
Yeah.
I believe that because if there's electricity, then there should be radiation.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah. And Lawrence, who's from France, she's watching the video right now. She writes into the chat what to do. Are we going to be going back to the Middle Ages? So this is an interesting topic that we could just spend the rest of the time discussing, because of course with new technology comes new potential risks, we could say. Because these things are so new, we don't actually know if they are harmful or they're okay, or what they're doing to us or to the environment. Some people have been noticing in the United States that the bees are disappearing and they're dying out. Some people think it's because of the cell phone towers. Other people think it's because of the pesticides. So some of us don't really know what is exactly happening, but it sounds like, Lawrence, that you're for moving forward with progress, and you can write in there, Lawrence, if you want to. Okay, so we have I think some people are just joining us. We only have about less than 15 minutes left. So I was going to give you one more prompt to do some writing. So let me see if I can find it. I tried to put it down here. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to let's use this one right here. What are your guys' opinions about America? So here we go. I just erased everything we wrote before, and this is the question. Should young Americans be required to study more than one language? If so, which language? So as many of you probably know, Americans don't usually learn foreign languages very well. I think for most schools in the United States, you have to, if you want to go to college or university, you need to take 2 years of a foreign language. Typically that is Spanish, French, or German. Nowadays it's Japanese, Chinese, and sometimes Arabic. But I would say that for the most part, Americans don't really learn languages very well. And even if they study them, they don't necessarily become very fluent. And I noticed that this is different in other countries, obviously, where many people begin at a very early age to learn English, and maybe even a second or third foreign language. So we have about 12 minutes left in the class, so everybody can pick a place on the document and tell me what you think. Do you think that that we should require our children to study more than one language? And if so, which language? Okay, Lawrence, what did you say? I'm talking to Lawrence now. She's in the chat. So I haven't looked on my Facebook page yet to see what you wrote, but if you want to write it here in the VerbLink chat, you can do that too. So I'm going to give everybody a chance to write for about two or 3 minutes here. Just pick a place, type your name, and then type. So tell us if you think Americans should be required to study more than one language, and if so, which language? And of course, tell me why you think that language would be a good language to learn for American kids. Right now, my kids, I have one daughter who's 10. She's in a small private school, and she's learning Spanish at school. And I have 2 sons that I homeschool, and one of them today's his birthday. He's 15 today, and he is just starting to study Spanish. And my other son, who's 12, he's studying Portuguese because he wants to go to Brazil because he's a big soccer fan. So he thinks that Brazil has the best soccer players. So, okay, Lawrence, you said that you think American people don't really need a foreign language because English is a universal language. Well, that's true. A lot of people are learning English. But are there benefits to people to learn a second language, even if they really don't ever need to speak it because people could speak to them in English? Are there other benefits? I'll write that in the chat. Are there other benefits to learning a second language? Like Lawrence. I'm talking to Lawrence because I'm letting you guys write, and I'll have a conversation with Lawrence, who's in the chat watching. For example, Lawrence, do you think that it would be beneficial for people to learn French to be able to understand the French culture better, especially if someone was thinking about traveling there or living there for a little while? Or maybe just learning a different language might open your eyes to the fact that not everybody thinks the same way that you think. Yeah? So you wrote, but you could perhaps learn Spanish because there are many people who are originating from Spain and who are American. Yes, learning Spanish, especially in states like where I'm from, California. Spanish is widely spoken, you could say, because there are many people from Mexico that live and work there. Okay, Mariana, you're ready to start? Okay.
Yes, I'm ready. Okay, I start. I think Americans should be required to study a foreign language as a must.
Okay.
We believe in a connected world. Nowadays, there's no barrier for people. Thinking the growth of Latino population in U.S. taking up 4% of the whole population of the country, American elites should learn Spanish as a second language. As a third language, I would propose Chinese for international commercial matters.
Okay, good. So I think Americans should be required to study a foreign language as a must. I think if you put as a must, hold on, there's some. It's kind of what we call redundant, so you're kind of saying the same thing, so we don't need to put that. So I think Americans should be required to study a foreign language. We live in a connected world. Nowadays, there's no barriers. I put, you'll hear theirs, but because the correct one is there are, because we're talking about barriers. Yeah. But most people would say theirs. That's right. There are no barriers for people. Thinking the growth of the Latino population in U.S. taking up 4% of the whole population of the country. Okay, instead of thinking, you would say considering. Considering the growth of the Latino population in the U.S., comma, taking up 4% of the whole population of the country, Americans at least should learn Spanish as a second language. As a third language, comma, I would propose Chinese for international commercial matters. Okay, great. All right, Landit, do you want to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
They should learn another language. It's important due to the globalization of the world, and Spanish is the second most spoken language in the world.
Okay.
Below Chinese.
Yeah. They should learn another language, and then I would just put period, and then this is its, and you have to put a apostrophe there because you're saying it is.
It is, yes.
Yeah. It's important due to the globalization of the world, and Spanish is the second most spoken language after Chinese. You want to say? Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Diego.
Hey.
Hey, do you want to read it?
Okay. In my opinion, children here in Brazil must be learning English as the second language because currently the English is the first language around the world, and now English in the future then can work at companies from other countries. Moreover, the guys can make new friends around the world, travel and live in different countries, and also have to learn Chinese because it's become the second language in the world. the Chinese economy is expanding faster than other countries like USA or Europe?
Okay, so you instead of writing about Americans, you wrote about Brazilians, but that's okay. So I'm just going to do a few corrections. In my opinion, comma, children, you don't have to say children's because children is plural already. Children here in Brazil must learn, let's see, English as a second language because currently English is the first language around the world. And known, let's see, it's the first language in the world. I think I know what you mean. It's the most spoken. Currently English, is the, and knowing English in the future comma, they can work at companies from other countries. Moreover, comma, the guys can make new friends. I'm just going to put they. They can make new friends around the world, traveling and live in a different country. And also, comma, they have to learn Chinese because it's becoming the second language in the world, period. The Chinese economy is expanding faster than other countries like USA or Europe. Okay, good. All right, Renata.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I really wrote a really short paragraph, if it's okay.
That's okay, because we are running out of time, so that's fine.
Okay. In my opinion, Chinese, because China is becoming a strong economic powerful.
Mm-hmm. I would just say a strong economic power. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good. And Carl, what's your opinion? Are you still in there? Yeah. Carl? Are you talking to
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. So it's my turn?
Yes.
Okay. In my opinion, young Americans should not be required to study more than one language. So the children from any other countries. The United States has been a superpower worldwide for decades. People from other countries can easily see the importance of learning English in order to increase their competitiveness. However, children should not be forced to learn something they don't really like. If it's for increasing their skills and competitiveness, they should be allowed to learn whatever language they like, not necessarily Chinese or something. They should learn what they like.
Okay. Great. So what did I want to check what you wanted to say here in the beginning. You said young Americans should not be required to study more than one language. And then what's this part? So do children from any other. Are you saying like in other countries they shouldn't be required either? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So young Americans should not be required to study more than one language. Nor should children from any other.
That's what I mean.
Okay, any other country. Yeah. That's right. Okay, while the United States has been a superpower worldwide for decades, people from other countries can easily see the importance of learning English in order to, we don't need the comma there, in order to increase their competitiveness. However, children should not be forced to learn something they don't really like. If it's for increasing their skills and competitiveness, they should be allowed to learn whatever language they like. Okay, good. All right, did anybody else, I think somebody was writing at the very top. Let's see, who was that? Aslan, you want to read yours?
Okay. In the present world, English language is very important. Today, all of our schools, English begin teaching from first form. For a good mode of life and to live as humans and communicate with all the world, you have to learn important language, English, French, Spanish, and Russian. My dream is to live in America, and for that reason, I study an English course.
Okay.
With English native speakers, it has given me priority, and I feel myself confident.
Okay, I'm going to have to, there's a lot of noise in your microphone, Aslan, so I'm going to reread it now. And so, let's see. In the present world, comma, English language is very important. Okay, I'll put the English language is very important. Today, comma, all of our schools, English begins, all of our schools, we say, begin teaching English from first form. Okay, in America we say first grade. For good mode of life and to live as a human and communicate with all the world, you have to learn. Okay, let's say to have a good lifestyle, say, and to live as a human and communicate with all the world, comma, you have to learn important languages. And then you gave the examples are English, French, Spanish, and Russian. Oops. Russian. My dream is to live in America, and for that reason I try to learn English fluently. Okay, when I contact an English native speaker, it has given me priority. I think, what do you mean by priority, Aslan? I think you mean that it gives me pleasure. It has given me pleasure, or you're excited, or you're proud, and you feel better. Okay? That's good. Okay, we're already past our time, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I hope you had a good time practicing writing and that you learned a few things. Everybody, just keep it up. You guys are doing a good job. Does anybody have any questions before I end the class here? Any questions?
Yes, I have one.
Okay.
Can we look at what I wrote in the third sentence?
Uh-huh.
Here you say from any other countries. Why we are using singular here instead of plural?
Okay. Young Americans should not be required to study more than one language, nor should children from any other country. Because when you're talking about it from any other country, it implies already that it would be plural, but you don't need to say the plural. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so nor should children from any other country. If you said countries, that would be okay too. It would be okay to say countries, but it's more it sounds more common to say country. Either one would be okay, but it's more typical to say children from any other country.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, either one would be fine. Okay, if you guys want to go to another verbling class, you probably need to go now. I just want to say thank you, and if you have any questions, you can put them here in the verbling chat too. I'll stay on here for a minute.
Thank you very much, Lisa.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, see you guys. Thanks. Good work.
Have a good day.
You too. To write something, and I can also read it out loud even if you're not in the Google Hangout, and I will help correct it if I can, depending on how many people show up. I'm going to give everybody the link now in the chat box here, the verbling chat box, and that goes to a Google Doc. This is going to be a document that you can write in, that you can edit. I set the settings so that people can view it and edit this because I want you to be able to write. But we have one rule, and that is do not erase anybody else's writing. Sometimes I don't know if people are doing it on purpose to be funny, or I think it's more an accident, a mistake. But if you highlight something and then you click your return button or delete button, it deletes it. So let's not do that. Everybody will have their own space in the document where you can write. Okay? All right, so I'm going to start by introductions. First, I'll introduce myself, excuse me, and then I will ask you to tell us your name and where you are. We have many returning students, so everybody's getting to know each other a little bit here on Verbling, which is nice, a nice community of people who are learning English from all around the world. So I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Lisa, and I live in Washington State. That's in the Pacific Northwest. Washington is a state that is not very populated, but the main population center is around Seattle, and so you may be familiar with Seattle. The capital of Washington is actually Olympia, which is south of Seattle. And I am about 2 hours away from Seattle and also 2 hours away from Olympia. I live in a small, kind of a touristy town in the summer called Port Townsend. It only has about 9,000 people, and it's on the Puget Sound. So that's a little bit about me. Now, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? I'm going to start over here on the right with Joseph. Joseph, are you there? Joseph?
Yes,
Hey.
hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, great. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Yusuf. My name is Yusuf, and I'm from Yemen. And I guess that's all.
Okay, short and sweet. Rodrigo, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm from Peru. I live in Lima. My name is Rodrigo. So I hope to learn today some words.
Okay, wonderful. And Renata, hi there.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Thanks. Oh, my name is Renata, how you said, and I'm living in São Paulo City from Brazil. And this is my first time in here, so I am a little bit confused.
Okay, well, it's pretty easy. So you're in the Google Hangout, so that means that I'm going to call on you, or you can speak when you have a question. And also, I put a link up here. You should have a Verbling chat box on your right-hand side of your screen. And if you click on that link, it'll open a new window for you probably. And then that document is what we're going to use to practice our writing today. So
Okay,
it goes pretty quickly. We have only 1 hour, and so if you have any questions, just ask. Okay?
It's okay. Thank you.
And you might want to turn up your volume just a little bit on your speaker or your microphone. Sorry, just because it's a little bit low for me to hear you.
Is it low?
Yeah, a little bit. You can turn it up a little bit.
Okay, thank you. I will be checking.
Okay, great. Hi, Johnson. Johnson, is that how you say your name? Johnson? Hi there. I don't hear anything. Here, sometimes when I mute you, then you unmute yourself and then talk. Hi, everybody. Oops, let me get my computer settled here. It's moving around. Hi, everybody. It's time for another Verbling class. Some of you might be finishing up with, I think Audrey was just giving a class. It's 9 a.m. Pacific time, and the class is open now, so you should be able to see the Join Class button. It's a green button above the Verbling chat box, and if you click on that, you will come in here to the Google Hangouts and you will be able to participate in our class. Today I wanted to do a class on writing, and so this will give you a chance to, we'll do some reading and some writing, and you'll also be doing some speaking. So we'll try to do all three of those things. I'm going to specifically be helping you with your writing skills, so I'll be correcting words or punctuation and also phrasing, how you say things. So I'm going to just talk a little bit here while we wait for people to join. It looks like we have a few people viewing, and so you just need to decide if you're going to join the class. It's usually best to try to get in the beginning because they often fill up. So if you have a join class button at the top, you can click on that. Once the class is full, you can still participate in the class. You will be able to. Do you see it? Okay, he dropped out. Maybe he was having a bad connection. Diego, how are you doing?
Hi, teacher.
Hi.
Hi. Well, let me introduce. I'm Diego Rafael. I'm from São Paulo, Brazil, and I'm 20 years old.
Okay.
Okay.
2 people from Sao Paulo, huh? That's great. Brazil. All right. Mariano, how are you doing?
Hi everyone. Hi Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Me too. Well, I'm from Argentina. I'm from Buenos Aires, and I'm studying here in Berlin. So.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome.
Thank you.
Carl, are you there? Your black screen.
Yeah, hi Lisa. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, everybody. My name is Carl, and I'm from China, but now I'm living in the United States. And I think I should get a webcam, right?
Yeah, so we can see you.
Yeah, all right.
What part of the United States are you in?
Well, I'm living in Brooklyn. Which, yeah, you know that a borough in New York City.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and New York is a nice city. You guys should come and visit it.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun city. Lots to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there a couple of years ago. It's fun.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay. Aslan, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is